When you have two exponential equations and the variables are in the exponents, and you can see that the bases can be converted to have the same base, then you can use this process that I'm going to show you here. So one of the things you do is you start off by getting these to have the same bases. So I know that I can write just out of practice, or you can try to figure it out, just check it out, test it out. Can you rewrite 64 as 4 to some power? If not, you might be able to convert both of these to 2's, both of the bases, 4 and 64. But you can convert 64 into 4 raised to the 3rd power. Okay? It is equivalent to 64. So the whole idea here is if you can have these be the same bases, in order for these things to be equal, if the bases are the same, then the exponents must also be the same. So when that happens, then as soon as we can convert them to the same bases, then we can drop the bases and just look at the exponents. So remember, if the bases are the same and they're equal to each other, then the exponents must be equal to each other. That's the concept that we're using here. I'm going to go ahead and distribute this 3 into here. And so you're going to get negative 6x plus 3. Now you have a quadratic equation. Now you have to think, okay, how do I solve a quadratic equation? Well, I need to get everything over here with the x squared so that it's equal to 0 on the other side. So you're going to add 6x to both sides. So you're going to get x squared, and if I add a 6x to both sides, I will get a negative 5x, or minus 5x here. And then here I'm going to get rid of this plus 3, so I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. Negative 3 minus 3 is the same thing as a negative 3 plus a negative 3, which is a negative 6. So I write minus 6. And now it's equal to 0. Now I can try to factor it. If you can't factor it, you plug it into the quadratic formula, and you will find your solution. But I can factor this. I can think of two numbers that multiply to give me negative 6, but add to give me negative 5. So we have 1 times 6 and 2 times 3. By multiplying to get a negative, then one of these has to be negative. So you can see here it's going to be positive 1 and negative 6, because those two will add to give you a negative 5. So this will be x plus 1 and x minus 6. Okay, so then we set each of these equal to 0 using our zero product property that tells us that if these two factors multiply to give me 0, then one or both of these must equal 0. So here I subtract 1 from both sides. I get x equals negative 1, and this one I add 6 to both sides, and you get x equals 6. So your answer is 6 and negative 1.